So, welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a short span of time within 30 minutes. Now, the idea behind this lecture series is pretty simple. We want you to cover your current affairs and we want you to cover them on a daily basis because current affairs form a very important portion of your civil services examination. But the problem is that you can't spend your entire day reading the newspaper. You can't spend your entire day just covering current affairs, right? You need time for other parts of your UPSC syllabus as well. So therefore, to facilitate you guys, we have come out with this lecture series in which we'll cover the entire day's important current affairs within 30 minutes so that your entire day is freed up so that you can spend it by reading up on other parts of your civil services syllabus, right? Now, just watching this lecture in 30 minutes would be job half done, okay? After watching this lecture, you need to revise this lecture as well. Spend another 20 to 25 minutes revising this lecture, okay? And if you do that, then you'll be able to remember these current affairs for long periods of time, okay? Or else you'll forget them in a matter of couple of days. So revision is extremely important if you're serious about retaining these current affairs in your memory. Now, where can you revise these current affairs from? Well, along with this lecture, we are going to provide you with the notes of this lecture, and these notes shall be shared on our Telegram channel. Where can you find our Telegram channel? Just below this video in the comment section, I'll share a link to our Telegram channel. All you have to do is just click on that link. It'll take you to our Telegram channel, and from there you can download the notes for this lecture. Then spend another 20 minutes and you'll be done for the day. So 30 minutes of watching this lecture and 20 minutes of revising this lecture, and in about 50 minutes time, you'll be done for the day. Your entire day is freed up as far as current affairs are concerned. Now you can spend it as you want it. Okay? All right. So let's begin our discussion. But first, let's take a look at today's topics. So number one topic would be impeachment resolution for vice president. You see, opposition party members or the India bloc have decided to give a notice for impeachment resolution for Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar ji. Okay. Now, this impeachment resolution for Vice President would be presented by opposition members, but they don't have the required numbers to pass this. But still, they want to make a political statement. So, our focus would be on the removal procedure for Vice President of India. Okay. So, we'll take a look at this. Then we'll talk about a recent study by European Union's Copernicus program. It says that 2024 is going to be the warmest year on record, and this is bad news for people fighting against climate change. Okay, so what is this report all about? We'll talk about this. Then farmers from Rajasthan and Punjab are protesting against water pollution. There is a stream called Buddha Nala which merges with Satluj River, and Satluj River provides water to Punjab as well as Rajasthan. Now, this is getting really polluted. So, they are protesting against water pollution of Satluj River and Buddha Nala. So, what are these protests? What action has the government taken? And what are the causes behind water pollution of this stream? We'll talk about this. And in the end, we'll talk about a new scheme launched by LIC, Life Insurance Corporation of India, which is called Bima Sakhi Yojana. The scheme was inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi in Panipat, Haryana. And the scheme aims to improve or help with women empowerment and side by side promote financial inclusion. Basically, promote insurance policies in India. So, what is this Bima Sakhi Yojana? We'll talk about this. All right. So, first topic is related to polity, so GS2. Second topic is related to environment, GS3. Third topic is also related to pollution, environment, GS3. And fourth topic is related to women empowerment, which is part of Indian society, GS1, and financial inclusion, which is part of economics, GS3. All right. So these are the four topics that we are going to discuss today. So please give me your 100% because we are about to begin our discussion, starting with topic number one, which is impeachment resolution for vice president. Okay. So the India bloc, the opposition bloc parties have decided to submit a notice to move a no confidence or impeachment resolution against Rajya Sabha chairman and Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar. Okay. Here he is. Now, impeachment resolution means removal resolution. So this resolution is for removal of Vice President of India and Chairman of Rajya Sabha Jagdeep Dhankar ji. Now, who is Vice President basically? So Vice President, our constitution makers created a backup option for the President of India. Okay, if the president is not well, he's unable to discharge his duties, if there is a death or any other reason for vacancy in the office of president, well, then Vice President would take his job. until the office of president is filled up. So basically, our constitution makers created this office of vice president to create a backup option for president. All right. President is the highest constitutional office in our country. Vice president is the second highest constitutional office in our country. But being the backup option for president is not just the only role for vice president. He also functions as chairman or presiding officer of Rajya Sabha. Like speaker is the presiding officer of Lok Sabha, vice president or chairman is the presiding officer of Rajya Sabha. So as his role as chairman of Rajya Sabha, opposition parties are not happy with his role, and that is why they have decided to submit a notice for his removal resolution. Now the thing is that for this resolution to pass in Rajya Sabha, the opposition members need numbers, okay? They need votes. Currently, India bloc does not have enough members or enough votes to pass this resolution. But still, they would give the notice, submit a notice, because they want to make a political statement. And that statement would be that they are not happy with the conduct of chairman of Rajya Sabha. Okay? So for giving a political statement, they are giving this notice. But it's pretty obvious that they won't be able to pass this resolution. The position of Jagdeep Dhankar ji is quite safe because opposition parties do not have enough numbers. All right. So let's talk about the procedure for removal of Vice President of India, because our constitution is very clear as far as the removal procedure for Vice President of India is concerned. You see, Vice President of India is the second highest constitutional office after President. He performs two roles. Okay. One role is to be the backup option for President of India in case the president is unable to perform his or her duties. Okay. The other role is the presiding officer or chairman of Rajya Sabha. Okay. So Rajya Sabha, to make sure that Rajya Sabha conducts its business properly in legally permissible manner, chairman is held responsible for that. So Vice President of India performs this dual role. Now, Vice President of India can be removed. Okay. And that removal should be done through a resolution. Now, because he's the chairman of Rajya Sabha, therefore that resolution can be tabled only in Rajya Sabha. All right. Now, to table that resolution, at least a 14-day notice should be given to Vice President. Okay. Now, if that resolution is tabled in Rajya Sabha, then it needs to be passed by majority votes of Rajya Sabha. And that majority of votes should be an effective majority. After it is passed by Rajya Sabha, it is then presented in Lok Sabha, and Lok Sabha needs to pass that resolution with simple majority. Okay. So how to remove the Vice President of India? First, you have to give him a 14-day notice. After that, that resolution is tabled in Rajya Sabha. And remember, that resolution can only be initiated in Rajya Sabha. It cannot be started in Lok Sabha. Only Rajya Sabha can start a resolution for removal of Vice President. Once that resolution is tabled, then that resolution would be put to vote. And it needs to be passed by effective majority. After it is passed by effective majority, it then goes to Lok Sabha, where it needs to be passed by simple majority. Okay. Now the question arises, what is effective majority? What is simple majority? Okay. So look, let's suppose the total strength of Rajya Sabha is 250 members. Let's suppose, okay, it's 250 members. All right. Now, when the resolution for removal of Vice President is being tabled in Rajya Sabha, let's suppose at that very moment only 200 members are present. Okay. Now, for that resolution to get passed in Rajya Sabha by effective majority, at least half of the strength, total strength of Rajya Sabha needs to vote in favor of that resolution. So that resolution should get at least 125 votes. That is half the strength of total strength of Rajya Sabha. So out of these 200 members who are present, 125 need to vote in favor of the resolution. Okay. Once it gets passed in Rajya Sabha, then it goes to Lok Sabha. Okay. In Lok Sabha, let's suppose there are 550 members in Lok Sabha. Okay. Now, let's suppose only 400 are present. So in Lok Sabha, it only needs 50% of the people present. That is 200 votes to get passed. This is the difference between effective majority and simple majority. In case of effective majority, you need 50% of the total strength of that house. In case of simple majority, you need 50% of the people present and voting. Okay. So effective majority is 50% of total strength. Simple majority is 50% of members present and voting. All right. Now, this is the procedure. Now, the thing is that opposition members do not have enough members in Rajya Sabha to get these 125 votes. And therefore, this resolution is bound to get defeated. But again, like I said before, they are just making a political, they are just giving a political statement. Okay. So it is within their rights to give a 14-day notice, and that's what they have decided to do. Though this resolution would get defeated, but through this 14-day notice, they will make a political statement. All right. Now, there is some more information that you need to know about the office of Vice President. So let's talk about that. So, as we have discussed before, Vice President shall act as simple backup option for President when he or she are unable to perform their duties. He'll also function as presiding officer, chairman of upper house, that is Rajya Sabha. Now, how is Vice President of India elected? Well, he is elected by members of an electoral college. Now, who are the members of this electoral college? Well, members of both houses of parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Whether they are elected members of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, or they are nominated members of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. They all are part of electoral college. And they will actually hold elections, and that those elections, I mean, the members of that electoral college would vote. The system of election would be proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. I hope you know about this, because if you have covered polity, you are bound to know about this. If you have not, be patient, we'll cover this as well. And the voting shall be held through secret ballot. That means no one knows who voted for who. Okay. Now, office of Vice President can fall vacant if he has resigned, if his tenure has expired, which is of 5 years, if he dies, or if he's removed through impeachment resolution or otherwise. All right. Otherwise means that if he is disqualified and whatnot. Okay. So this is the information that you need to know about Vice President of India. That would be all. Okay. Let's move on to second topic of the day, which is 2024, the warmest year on record. Now, latest data from European Union's Copernicus Climate Change Services, C3S, show that last November was the 16th month in the 17-month period. So among the last 17 months, November was the 16th month that had average global temperature more than 1.5 degrees Celsius above normal or above pre-industrial revolution period. Now, the Paris Climate Agreement says that we need to fight against climate change so that global temperatures do not exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius more than pre-industrial levels, because that would be catastrophic for the planet. But EU's Copernicus Climate Change Service says that the last 16 months, temperature of the last 16 months was more than 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial revolution period. So that means the Paris Agreement, the aim of the Paris Agreement is already violated. The aim of the Paris Agreement was to stop global warming by 1.5 degrees Celsius, but in the past 16 months, it has consistently crossed this limit. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean that the Paris Agreement is null and void completely, that we haven't achieved our goals, so we need to do away with Paris Agreement, because this 1.5 degrees Celsius warming would be seen on a 10-year basis. Okay. So if for the next 10 years, temperatures are above 1.5 degrees Celsius consistently, then we would say that Paris Agreement is null and void. As of now, it's just 16 months, 1.5 years. All right. So Earth is warming, and that is bad news. Countries need to come together and come out with solutions quickly, because the planet is warming faster than what people or scientists estimated before in their studies. Okay. So this has been in the news. Now the question arises, what is this Copernicus Climate Change Service? Okay. So let's talk about that. So basically, Copernicus Climate Change Service, C3S, is part of Copernicus Earth Observation Program. So Copernicus Earth Observation Program is European Union's program which has 6 goals. Okay. One is monitoring of atmosphere. The other is marine environment monitoring, land monitoring, climate change, emergency management, and security. So Copernicus Earth Observation Program tries to achieve these 6 things. Okay. So C3S is just one of these 6 things. It is atmospheric monitoring. Okay. C3S basically monitors the atmosphere or monitors climate change basically. Okay. Now, what is Copernicus Earth Observation Program? Under this program, European Union will launch Earth observation satellites, sensors, ground stations, airborne radar, seaborne sensors to monitor all these 6 things. so that enough scientific data is available for making decisions regarding climate. Okay, it supports society by providing authoritative information about past, present, and future climate in Europe and rest of the world. So understand this. Copernicus program is an umbrella program. C3S is just one of the 6 organs of this Copernicus program. Okay, and this C3 has provided this information that 2024 was the warmest year on record. Now, what are the reasons given for this rise in temperatures? Okay, so in 2024, the biggest reason that 2024 is the warmest, because last year 2023 was considered the warmest year on record, but 2024 has broken the record of 2023 also. So why is 2024 that warm? Well, in 2023, scientists expected that 2023 is going to be the warmest and 2024 would be a little cooler than 2023. Why so? Because of the phenomena called La Nina. So La Nina would arrive in time, and La Nina has a cooling effect on the planet. So 2024 would be cooler than 2023, and 2023 will be the warmest year on record, not 2024. But their forecast was not true. And why? Because La Nina did not arrive. It was expected that La Nina would arrive by July 2024. Then the prediction was moved a bit forward. Experts said that it would arrive by October. Still, it did not arrive. It hasn't arrived yet, and we are in December. In fact, Australian Bureau of Meteorology says that La Nina would come in February 2025 most likely. Okay, and La Nina is important for reducing global warming. Now, what is La Nina? Okay, I'm sure you know about this: El Nino and La Nina. Okay, both of them collectively are known as El Nino Southern Oscillation. So, what is this El Nino Southern Oscillation? So, El Nino Southern Oscillation is a recurring climate pattern involving changes in temperature of waters in central and eastern tropical Pacific Ocean. So, this is tropical Pacific Ocean. As you can see, this blue portion, this is eastern and central tropical Pacific Ocean. Okay. So, when temperatures of this water body or this region of Pacific Ocean is higher than normal, then it is called El Nino. When the temperature of this water body is lower than normal, it is called La Nina, and it happens periodically. Okay, El Nino would come, then normal temperatures would come, that is known as neutral position. Okay, then La Nina would come, and the cycle would repeat itself. So whenever there is El Nino event, well, it changes the global weather. Okay, global climate. I mean, you might think that it is a phenomena that is localized. It is just happening in this part of the world, but it impacts the weather of the entire planet. In fact, whenever there is El Nino, monsoon in India is deficient. Summers are pretty hot. Winters are not that cold. Okay, when it is La Nina, then monsoon is above normal. Winters are cold. Summers are not that warm. So La Nina would be considered good for the global weather. Okay, but this time El Nino sustained for longer periods of time, neutral conditions sustained, but La Nina has not yet arrived. Though it was expected it would have arrived by now, but it hasn't. And that is why 2024 has been consistently warmer than 2023. All right. So this is what is El Nino Southern Oscillation. All right. Okay. Now let's move forward to more local news, and that is protest against toxic Buddha Nala. Okay. Buddha means ancient, in a sense old. Nala means a stream. Okay. So last week, farmers from Punjab and Rajasthan held protests in Satluj, the river that supplies water to several districts of both states. Okay. Punjab and Rajasthan. Now this protest was named Zehar Se Mukti Andolan or Kale Pani Da Morcha. And this protest saw farmers from both states call on dyeing associations of Punjab's Ludhiana district. So Punjab's Ludhiana district is famous for textiles. Okay. Now they don't just produce textiles. Okay. They also color these textiles. And for that, there are various factories that dye these clothes. Now, the amount of waste generated by these dyeing factories is dumped into a stream called Buddha Nala. This Buddha Nala joins Satluj River. So a lot of pollutants are dumped into Buddha Nala. and this Buddha Nala transfers these pollutants to Satluj. The waters from Satluj not just go to Punjab, they also go to Rajasthan. That is why farmers from both Punjab and Rajasthan are protesting against this. Okay, and they say that Ludhiana's administration and Punjab administration are not taking enough steps to stop these factories from dumping their waste in Buddha Nala. All right, now let's talk about Buddha Nala then. So Buddha Nala was earlier called Buddha Darya because at one point of time it was not like a nala, it was a proper riverlet or stream. So it was called Buddha Darya. It originates in one part of Ludhiana and ends in another part of Ludhiana that is close to Satluj River. So it runs for 47 kilometer and merges with Satluj. So it starts here and it goes till here. It merges Satluj River. This is Ludhiana. On the other side of Satluj River is Jalandhar. Okay. Now, the waters from Satluj River are used to feed Gang Canal and Indira Gandhi Canal. Both these canals go to Rajasthan. So Satluj waters are taken to Rajasthan through these two canals. Now, if Buddha Nala pollutes Satluj River, then Satluj River would in turn pollute not only Punjab but Rajasthan. In fact, farmers say that over 400 factories in Ludhiana are responsible for dumping their untreated waste into Satluj River. They're not against dumping of waste or dumping of water in Buddha Nala. They are saying that that water should be treated. It should go through proper sewage treatment plants. But most of these sewage treatment plants are not working properly, and that is why these factories dump their waste into Buddha Nala or Satluj River indirectly. Okay. Now, what is the current state of affairs? Okay. A 2008 study by Punjab Agricultural University back in 2008. That means 16 years back. So this Buddha Nala is being polluted heavily for the past 16 years. So the current situation is very dire because for 16 years nothing was being done. So in 2008, Punjab Agricultural University revealed the presence of toxins and heavy metals in the food chain due to the use of Nala water to cultivate vegetables and other crops. Because this water from Satluj River is used to cultivate crops in both Punjab and Rajasthan. Now those pollutants, which are part of this Nala, enter Satluj water. Satluj water is used to grow these crops, and these crops also have these toxins and heavy metals which impact our food chain, and because of which, well, people's health is getting compromised. And that was way back in 2008. Imagine what is the situation now, 16 years after that. Now, experts say that there are three major sources of pollution in Buddha Nala. First is untreated sewage waste from Ludhiana city sewage treatment plants. So these sewage treatment plants are not working properly. Then, untreated industrial waste is being dumped by these 200 dyeing units, and hundreds of waste dumping sites are found around this Nala. Okay. This case is currently sub judice in National Green Tribunal's principal bench. So National Green Tribunal is currently hearing the case related to pollution in Buddha Nala. Okay. In fact, NGT had fined Punjab government. 50 crore fine was imposed on Punjab government for failing to stop water pollution in both Satluj River and Beas River. Okay. But still, nothing was done. In fact, a recent report by Central Pollution Control Board has said that water in Buddha Nala is quite polluted. In fact, its biological oxygen demand was high, its chemical oxygen demand was high, and the total solid particles suspended in this water is also quite high. All right. Now you need to understand these three terms. These are important from the perspective of preparing for environment. So I'll explain these three terms also. What is BOD? What is COD? What is TSS? Okay. If these levels are high, then your water is very polluted. Okay. So look, the thing is that water contains, if a water body is polluted, then it contains a lot of organic waste. It contains inorganic waste as well, but here we are going to talk about organic waste. Now, the good thing about organic waste is that it can be decomposed by marine organisms. So, whenever organic waste in a water body rises, these marine organisms also rise because they can easily multiply and decompose this waste. Okay, but these marine organisms require oxygen to survive. Okay, so if organic waste is high in a water body, oxygen demand by these marine organisms, dissolved oxygen, basically oxygen gets dissolved in water. So dissolved oxygen demand in that water body also becomes high. So biological oxygen demand means the amount of oxygen required by these marine organisms to decompose all the organic waste. So if BOD levels are high, That means more oxygen is required to decompose this waste. That means more organic waste is there. Had there been no organic waste, then biological oxygen demand would have been very low. So high BOD means high organic waste, like human waste, animal waste, right? High BOD means high organic waste. So this is bad news. Then some of the organic and inorganic waste get chemically decomposed. No marine organism is required in this. They get chemically decomposed. And that process is known as chemical oxidation. Now, the that process also requires oxygen. So the amount of oxygen required to chemically oxidize this organic waste and inorganic waste, that is known as chemical oxygen demand. Okay. So if this is also high, that means more oxygen is required for chemically oxidizing this waste, right? That means more waste is there. So high BOD is bad news, high COD is bad news. And TSS is something that we all can see. It is the total amount of suspended solid particles. So human waste particles, solid particles in a water body get suspended. Okay, it's just floating in the water body. So it is the total amount of suspended material in water. If this is also high, then that means your water is of very bad quality. All these things were very high in Buddha Nala and Satluj River as per the recent report by Central Pollution Control Board. All right. So that's the situation. Okay. And last, Bima Sakhi Yojana. So recently, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Haryana. And in Haryana's Panipat, he launched Bima Sakhi Yojana. It is a scheme by Life Insurance Corporation of India which aims to promote women empowerment and financial inclusion. So women empowerment would happen through women livelihood generation. So jobs would be created for females, and financial inclusion because these jobs would involve giving insurance products or raising insurance awareness among the general people, general population. Okay, so that would boost financial inclusion and that would generate jobs for women beneficiaries. Okay, that is why it is known as Bima Sakhi Yojana. Okay, now he inaugurated the scheme in Panipat. Then he went to Karnal and he inaugurated Maharana Pratap Horticultural University. So that's why he was in Haryana. Okay, let's talk about Bima Sakhi Yojana. So under Bima Sakhi Yojana, Life Insurance Corporation would select women aged between 18 to 70 years who are at least 10th class pass. Okay, they would select them as interns, these women. Then they would receive specialized training and a monthly stipend, some monthly cash for 3 years. So while they're training with LIC for 3 years, they would receive some monthly amount. Okay. In that training, they would be taught to generate financial literacy and insurance awareness among the general population. So for the next 3 years, they would generate financial literacy, tell people about insurance, why is insurance important, and would also tell them about how can they avail insurance awareness and financial literacy. After this 3 years of training, they can graduate and they can be employed by LIC as insurance agents. Okay, and they can even get promoted to development officer roles in LIC. So they can even get promotions after some years. Okay, but after these 3 years, they have an opportunity to serve with LIC as insurance agents. So this would definitely generate employment for women. So that would definitely promote women empowerment. Plus, what job they would be performing? They would be performing the job of financial literacy and insurance awareness, which would again boost financial inclusion in our country. So it's a win-win situation. People are going to be more aware of financial things, and these women would get the much needed employment that would boost female labor force participation rate, that would boost women empowerment. Okay. After training, they can serve as LIC agents. They would be called Bima Sakhis. Bima means insurance and Sakhi means female friend, right? So they would graduate as Bima Sakhis, would have the opportunity to qualify for being considered for development officer roles in LIC. Okay. So it's a win-win situation or a win-win project. All right. And that would be all. That's it from my side, guys. Look, please do not forget to revise. Okay. The lecture is over. But please, your job is not done. You have to spend another 20 minutes revising this lecture. It can even take 10 to 15 minutes. But please spend the necessary time for revision because it is only through revision that you'll be able to remember these current affairs for longer periods of time. All right. On that note, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much, everyone.